good. Let's see. Hide chat. Yeah, there we go. Hide all chat messages. Hi, everyone. I wanted to read this prayer. It's by a guy named Ryan Skoog. Never heard of him, but it's a really good prayer that some of my friends gave me. And it says, Jesus, teach me to pray. Help me awaken the dawn with praise and thanksgiving. Help me abide in you in the moments of every day. Help me welcome the evening with grateful worship. Help me watch and pray with you into the night. Show me the joy of your presence in the trials I face. Show me your miraculous power in my neighborhood and in our nation. Show me your wisdom in the secret place. Show me the freedom of your forgiveness. Teach me to fight on my knees against the forces of darkness. Teach me to rely on your strength when the world weighs on me. Teach me to cast my cares on you when anxieties rise. May I learn to fall on my knees in humility. May I learn to rise up in resurrection power. In dark nights, may I hold fast to your love. In bright days, may I not forget your blessings. Then my soul will walk with you in the garden in the cool of the day. Teach me to pray, Lord. Teach me to pray. Amen. And it's so funny, though, how, the average person who's not spiritual or religious or whatever you would call it, they seem to be under the mistaken impression that as Christians, we're supposed to be perfect and do everything right and not sin at all. If I'm being honest, it's the exact opposite. When you're a Christian, things are worse, in a sense, just for the simple fact that you're always being bombarded by the world. You're being bombarded with temptation. You're being bombarded with people's nasty attitude. You're being bombarded with the horrible things that are going on in the world. You know what I mean? So I don't pretend to have all the answers. I don't pretend to be a perfect person. I don't pretend to be a perfect Christian. I'm a child of God. I'm a Christian, but I'm also a sinner. I say things I shouldn't say. I've gotten better about it, but, I was telling somebody I do have a filter. It's just not a very strong one, but that's something that I'm working on, and, that's just a character flaw. Nobody's perfect. And if you're expecting perfection from a Christian, then that's kind of on you, not on them. But that being said, I also can't really hang out with the ones who are very legalistic either. Everything's a sin. You have to do this. You have to do that. Reminds me too much of my own mom and other people that have been in my life in the past that, turned out to not be good people. I try to do the best I can to take one day at a time. I'm striving to do better in life. And by doing better, it means, with God's help, rebuilding everything that I destroyed with my drug addiction and my other bad decisions in the past. You know what I mean? And And I'm just beside myself, just hearing about some stuff that happened up in Seattle. I guess this lady that was an activist with the Boys and Girls Club or whatever, I don't know. But the long and short of it is, she's talking about, we need to preserve our youth and end violence and bring about peace and let's keep the kids safe and this, that, and the other while her sons are selling fentanyl. And was working with them. I guess they were under investigation for a couple of years, and then finally she got arrested. I think maybe they all got arrested, but I think they might be on bond already. And that's something I never ceases to amaze and disgust me how many people are free on bond after things that they've done. This one guy, that I showed you that picture earlier of the black dude who brutally stabbed another guy, stabbed him to death, got arrested. His bond after he actually murdered the dude, then told him that he did it, and the judge still wanted to set him free. It's like, wow, really? Oh man. And then what was the other thing? Oh yeah. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do this on this live and tell you about all this stuff, because honestly, making a bunch of videos about horrible news and horrible situations. It's kind of draining on me. So I'll tell you all quickly about this old white dude over in Detroit. There's this little girl, 7 years old, just minding her own business at a park, and this old man gonna pull out a knife and slit her throat and then cut her arms up. Now, by the grace and mercy of God, she survived. But, and the man got arrested. And and I saw this on YouTube, and a commenter had said, quit blaming people's actions on mental instability and mental illness. Some people know exactly what they're doing, and they do it because they're evil. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's a lot of issues with mental illness in this world. Heck yeah, there is. But it's like some people can't seem to comprehend the fact that there are very evil people in this world that aren't mentally ill. We all are to a certain extent. We all have emotional issues, but there are people out there that are evil. They know exactly what they're doing, and they do it with pleasure. That's what they do. They hurt people, they kill people, and they're not mentally ill. They're just evil. You know what I mean? Or, psychopathic or whatever you want to call it. But, and their point was, this commenter's point was, people like to use, mental illness as an excuse to commit atrocities. So, and that's also a very slippery slope, and that's just, my opinion on the whole matter is there are just some people out there that are just wicked, and they do what they feel like doing. They have no conscience, no remorse, no nothing. They do what they feel like doing, and that's one of the reasons why this world is so horrible right now. Yeah. But, on a positive note, when it comes to entertainment, and, movies and whatnot, it looks like Alien Romulus is available, but you'd have to buy it, and I'm not trying to buy it. It's here on YouTube. I'd much rather rent it, because I don't know what I'm walking into when I watch that thing. So, yeah, don't want to waste too much money if it's a terrible movie. Yeah. And I told my friends this, a couple nights ago, that I really need to stop watching such negative things here, and I need to stop posting negative videos and whatnot, because the more a person is immersed in that kind of stuff, the more depressed they get, and the harder it is to get out of that. But it's really hard when all you see is nothing but horrible things happening all around you. But then there's also a lot of good things that are happening. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I need to just stop, doing all that, because it's not helping anybody's mental health, honestly. So, and another thing, when I start getting down and feeling depressed, one of my friends said to me, and I quote, "God didn't pull you out of the gutter just so you can be a whiny ass baby. Put your big girl panties on and do what you're supposed to do in life." Yeah, like I said, I have friends that are very blunt and to the point, and I'll take honesty over sugar-coated crap anytime. It may sting for the moment, but it also helps me get back onto the path that I was supposed to be in the first place, if that makes any sense. So, yeah. I don't want to keep going down that road. It's ridiculous. It's like, hey, Deborah, you've been around for 40-something years. Has negativity ever helped you in the past? Is it helping you now? No, it's not. And I don't want anyone else to be going down that path either and just thinking, oh, there's no hope, there's no love, there's no this, there's no that. Yeah, there is. There really, really is. You just got to see the good in things, even when you feel like there isn't any. You know what I mean? Most definitely. Yeah. And also another thing, if you keep on, reliving the past, and this is what I'm learning all too well, if you keep on reliving negative things from your past, you're never going to heal from them. It's the same as if I were to get a cut on my arm, right? and it's starting to heal. And then all of a sudden I decide I just want to pick that scab off, and I keep on doing it. It keeps bleeding, takes it longer to heal. Get another scab. Oop, yep, let me just pick that off and let it bleed again. And then if you're continuing to do that over and over and over again, you're going to get a massive infection. Who knows? Maybe you could go septic, like for real. Yeah, it's just horrible. It's like that feeling in your stomach, that burning feeling when you're just holding resentment and hatred and anger toward people from your past who you think, you deem that they've done you dirty, which also is another thing. One of my friends said, don't say that. Don't say that, oh, hey, this person did me dirty. Just say, there were issues in the past that I had with the person. They're not in my life anymore, and I'm choosing to forgive. I'm choosing to let it go. I am choosing to move on. And it sounds so flippin' easy. You know what I mean? It's almost like, oh, hey, well, just forgive them and move on with your life, girl. And it sounds easy, but it's really, really not. And I know a lot of you out there know what I'm talking about. We're all human. We're all part of the human race. We have a lot of stuff in common. It's just that some people would be happier not telling you how they're feeling, and that's totally fine. You know what I mean? That's just, people don't have to share how they're feeling. I mean, I choose to because I hope that in the future I can be an inspiration to somebody who is struggling with similar issues of forgiveness, letting things go, letting go of resentments. That's a very important thing, and, the more time that goes by and I'm still holding on to all this crap, that's valuable time I'm taking away from positive things, time I'm taking away from spending time with my daughter, time that I'm taking away from, even being at work and doing my job. You know what I mean? And that's just horrible. I've wasted way too much freaking time. Just way too much. And we all know life is way too short to be hanging on to stuff. And yes, I'm not just trying to convince you guys, I'm trying to convince myself of this, like for real. Yeah. Yep. Let's see.
Do not fear the black smoke rings.
Oh, whoopsie. Yeah, it's IDK Sterling. He's one of my favorite YouTubers.
On Steam, PlayStation 5.
Oh yeah, and then also Fooster. He's going to be doing the Quiet Place. The Road Ahead. It's a new video game that's based on that movie, The Quiet Place, or A Quiet Place. There's 3 of them now. Quiet Place 1, 2, and then Quiet Place Day 1, which is the one that I watched and actually did, the review on this channel for it. And I mean, I had underestimated the movie in the beginning, in the middle. To me, it wasn't that interesting, but toward the end, it's like, oh wow, this is actually pretty good. I'm glad I actually watched the whole thing. It is pretty good. Let's see, I'm just here on YouTube, just looking at different videos and trying to remember what else I'd wanted to say to you guys. It's like I'll have something in my head and be like, oh hey, that sounds great, I think I will share that on my next live. Get on here and what was that again? I don't remember. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and to the guy who said, your mama, to a comment that I had made. I don't even know what I said. Like I said, I sometimes don't have a filter, and I say some silly stuff I probably shouldn't say, and for that, I'm sorry. But for the guy who said that, I guess that's supposed to upset me, but I can tell you my mom was so much worse than anything you could comprehend. Yo. Have time for that. Oh, yeah, your mama. Yeah, dude, my mama has been dead since June of 2019. And even when we reach adulthood, some of us never grow up. I mean, look at me. I'm trying, it's been hard, going through the healing process and doing all this and that after having, damaged my body and my brain with drugs. And like I said, 5.5 years clean and sober, glory to God. He's the only reason why I'm even still here. And it really is true, though, that some people, they never grow up. found that out when I watched that video of this dude. What is he like? Probably in his, I don't know, early to mid 60s. Gonna have the nerve to be hitting a dude's Mustang with a rock as he drove by, his house. So the dude, he's like, what? He just hit my car. So he backs up. And, words were exchanged. Some names were called. And the dude who threw the rock didn't even get in trouble with the police. In fact, the police reprimanded the Mustang driver, talking about, oh, hey, can you slow down and going down this road? And, last I heard, it was illegal to be throwing rocks at somebody's vehicle who's driving past you. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm out of the loop these days. What do I know about the law and what people should and shouldn't be doing? I don't know anything. But, yeah, it was just insane. And the dude, his eyes were all huge. And I was reading some of the comments, because the guy who threw the rock is like a volunteer or ex-volunteer firefighter in that town. I think it's in the South. They had the Southern drawl. And they had said, the people who had commented on that video had said that they knew that guy. And that he is heavy into methamphetamines, which, that would make a lot of sense given, the crazed look on his face, not to mention him, being a senior citizen and throwing rocks at vehicles. Oh, yeah, one more thing, and after that, I will let you guys go. There was another story I had watched last night. Now, where did it take place? Okay, I want to say it was in Florida. A doctor ended up being confronted by this 19-year-old kid who had come to him to tell him, oh, hey, by the way, doc, the medication you gave my mom isn't sufficient for her. So when the doctor said, sorry, whatever, right? So when the doctor turned around, the kid, sucker punched him and beat him up really bad. And then, kid got arrested and then said something about, in court, said something about, oh, the drugs or, the medication that doctor gave my mom just wasn't working for her. So that's why I went to the clinic where he works and beat him up. It's like, okay, that's insane. But I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but I almost wonder if the medication was some kind of narcotic painkiller. You know what I mean? Because why are you going to be going into a clinic and beating up a doctor because you don't like the medication they have your mom on? That just, makes no sense for a number of reasons. And I was thinking, dang, the doctor didn't even do anything to really provoke this kid, and he beat the dude down. Which also takes me back to my experience back in 2016 at St. Francis Hospital in Federal Way, Washington. Now, heck yeah, back then, I was neck deep in drug addiction. I mean, I was really bad. It was horrible. But I remember going into the ER and being made fun of by the ER doctor that was there at the time, and he encouraged his staff members to make fun of me too. And then got in my face trying to get me to assault him. And then when I didn't do anything, he gets like inches away from me and says, oh, I see. All bark and no bite, huh? And I'm like, no, that's not it. You're just not worth me going to jail over. Gonna sit there and try to get me to punch him or do whatever to him so I can go back to jail and get a felony assault on my record. You okay? I mean, I've never in my life ever been treated like that at a hospital. I was wondering if that was even real. But yeah, it was. And years later, after getting clean and sober, I had heard stories like that from other people who were in recovery. I've heard things like that from people who weren't even on drugs. Some of these medical professionals don't act very professional. And what really is ironic is the fact that these people have, what's that? Oh, Wartime Stories. That's another YouTube channel I like. They deal with the supernatural and things that people, that soldiers have actually witnessed when they've been at war. I mean, other than the war, supernatural things, which is also kind of fascinating. But anyway, so when a doctor becomes a doctor, they take the Hippocratic Oath. And one of the things that's said in that oath is that they swear to do no harm. And that means physical harm, mental, emotional harm, I'd imagine. But like I said, what do I know? So I thought that was beyond bizarre. And it's like, wow. And then there are people who said, oh, yeah, that's not true. That didn't happen to you. Weird. I don't see how you would know, seeing as how you weren't there. You know nothing of my life at all. And that's another thing. People will say a bunch of really ridiculous things to you. And take my advice and just turn around and walk the other way. They're not worth getting into it with, at all. Like I said, another thing is, life is too short to be listening to disrespectful, rude people. I mean, it's absolutely crazy how people can act these days, but it's best for all parties involved. By all parties, I mean y'all. If you're having to deal with that, just let it go and move forward. Don't let people get to you. It's not worth it. Don't let them steal your joy. And now I realize I've wasted a lot of time on here, and I have to go. Thank you all for joining me. I will talk to you all another time. Bye. Damn it. All right.